Most folding e-bikes look good on the spec sheet, but the moment you try lugging them upstairs or squeezing them through a pack station, you quickly realise they're not exactly built for real life. Heavy frames, awkward folds, and noisy chains can turn what should be convenient into a bit of a chore. Well, this one is certainly different. From the first lift, you kinda know it. A frame and fork made from full carbon fiber, a total weight of just 12 kilos, and a fold that takes no more than 15 seconds. It certainly feels light enough to scoop up with one hand, slide under a desk, or carry onto a train rack without breaking a stride. Straight away, it comes across as a commuter's bike designed to make daily life easier, not harder. This is the Ado Air Carbon. With this thing, you're looking at up to 100 kilometers of assisted range on a single charge. Not just that, but a clean carbon belt drive instead of a chain, and a torque sensor system built with Bafang for that smooth natural assist. And then when you add hydraulic disc brakes, a bright IPS display, and smart app integration with GPS security. All these numbers and features sound great on paper, but are they really any good?
So the burning question is this product truly worth that asking price? Well, let's first start by unboxing it.
Opening the box, and thankfully there really isn't anything to be done here. The bike comes pretty much fully assembled and ready to go. All you have to do is detach all the protective material, slot in the handlebars, and place in the seat. Honestly, that's really it. It'll take less than 10 minutes give or take to get this up and running. Now from the outset, I will say I think that carbon fiber frame looks really slick. It's got these nice smooth lines with no messy welds, and a finish that feels rather premium but not too flashy. The fold on this thing is really quick, about 15 seconds, and the hinge just simply snaps shut with a solid click. There are no rattles, no flex, and folded down, it's slim enough to tuck beside a desk or slide into a hallway corner without taking up any space. Honestly, from the first unboxing, it just feels like a bike made for people who actually get what commuting's like. It has been made to be very portable. Something else I noticed right away is how balanced it feels folded. Some bikes are technically portable but awkward to carry with all the weight pulling weirdly. This one stays compact and balanced in your hand, and that makes a huge difference if you're moving through busy spaces on the way to work or just running around town. Up close, I think that carbon fiber finish really shows what makes this bike different. The design's super minimal, which keeps it looking clean, and I love that it uses a drive belt instead of a chain. There are no oil stains and no greasy trousers. And honestly, it's seriously quiet. Even though it's light, the frame feels solid and it doesn't give off that flimsy vibe at all. I think the IPS display is really nicely done too. It doesn't really look like an afterthought bolted on, and that makes this whole handlebar area feel a bit cleaner. It's pretty easy to read even in full sunlight, which did surprise me. I've used a lot of bikes where the screen basically turns into a mirror as soon as the sun hits it, but this one seems to hold up pretty well. The display gives you the basics at a glance: speed, assist level, battery, distance, and honestly, I like that it keeps things simple. I don't really need 10 different ride stats blinking at me. That said, part of me does think it might be nice if there was a bit more customization, like being able to swap which metrics sit front and center. But for everyday commuting, it's kind of perfect. It's clear, quick, and doesn't distract you while you're riding, just giving you the basics. Now it is worth noting the display is rated IPX7 and the whole bike is overall at IPX5, so light rain and wet commutes are totally fine. But obviously, full submersion is a no-no, just like with most e-bikes on the market. The hydraulic disc brakes front and back definitely give you some real proper stopping power, which for me makes a massive difference. I've ridden plenty of bikes with cable-based brakes before, and they always have that slightly spongy delayed feel, like you're squeezing harder than you should just to get the bike to respond. To be honest, with these, it's the complete opposite. The bite is sharp, it's consistent, and it gives you this sense of confidence straight away. To be honest, it's not just about raw stopping power, it's about control. You can feather the brakes lightly if you just want to scrub a bit of speed, or clamp down hard if you need to stop quickly. And from my experience, it feels predictable every single time. There's really no second guessing whether the bike's going to do what you're asking of it. For me, I really have nothing to complain about when it comes to the braking system on this thing. It's very impressive. Now, that integrated battery is probably my favourite part of the whole bike. Having it built into the seat post just makes life so much easier when it comes to charging. There's no fiddling with awkward ports or yanking a battery pack out of the frame. You can just pull the seat post out, take it inside, plug it in, and it's just simple. It's a 9.6 amp 36 volt battery, which works out to about 345 watts. For a folding bike that's trying to stay light and compact, that's actually really competitive. Most brands in the space have cut the battery size to keep the bike manageable. So to have that much capacity on something claiming to be one of the lightest around, well, that's pretty impressive. They say it can go up to 100 kilometers on a single charge, and in my real world use, I was getting more like 90. Honestly, that's still pretty good. For me, that meant I could go a full week of commuting without worrying about plugging it in mid-week, which is certainly a relief compared to some bikes that need charging every other day. Charging from empty took me around 5 hours, which matches the spec sheet, which is 4 to 6 hours. So the claim is pretty accurate. But most people plug it in overnight and you're pretty much good to go in the morning anyway. In terms of the battery department, I think that's where this bike could become a massive seller. It is much bigger than most on the market, and for its lightweight size, well, you can't complain. On my first ride, the torque sensor motor system stood out immediately. You push lightly on the pedals and you get a gentle assist. Put in more effort and it matches you smoothly. I didn't really notice any lag or jerky surge, just somewhat of a steady support. It does feel quite natural, like an invisible push when you need it. I did indeed test it climbing up a steady incline, and instead of grinding painfully in a low gear, it does a decent job of giving you that needed push. The instant pickup from the sensor certainly makes city riding a bit easier, and it never really felt twitchy or unstable. Even at higher speeds, it stayed planted. And like I said earlier, the hydraulic brakes gave me the confidence to stop quickly when I needed to. So going at some speeds wasn't really a concern for me. Now, it does come with an app that helps you take advantage of some of the most premium smart features. One being the ability to unlock GPS security. This is great because you can turn this on and leave your bike locked up outside somewhere, and as soon as someone nudges it or takes it, within seconds your phone rings with an alert giving you the live moving location and information so you can track it and find it. I think we can all appreciate bikes like these are an investment, and that kind of peace of mind matters if you're leaving it locked up often. That is probably the most important app feature, but you can still get all the basic information like your speed, distance traveled, battery percentage, assist levels, and more. And you can also dig into ride history, check diagnostics, and even get firmware updates pushed straight to the bike. This certainly gives you some reassurance that you've got some future proofing with your purchase. Now, it is worth noting it's not perfect. The price is high compared to cheaper folding bikes, and going single speeds means you don't get gears for really steep hills. There's no suspension either, so cobbles and rough paths remind you it is built for tarmac. The glossy carbon finish looks great but makes you more conscious about scratches. And because the GPS and app features are so handy, you'll end up relying on your phone quite a bit. There is also the matter of load. It's rated for up to 120 kilos, which will cover most people plus a backpack, but if you're carrying heavier loads, you'll want to be mindful. But to be honest, none of these are deal breakers if you're buying this for what it's built for. Light, simple city commuting. The lack of gears means less maintenance, and the belt drive should last for longer than a chain. The trade-offs make sense once you've lived with it. So after spending proper time with it, how does the Ado Air Carbon stack up? Well, I think it's not aiming to be an all-terrain monster. It's built for daily life in town. Light enough to carry every day, quick enough to fold without a fuss, and smooth enough to make commuting feel less like a grind. For anyone looking for a bike that's genuinely practical to live with, I think this shows what folding e-bikes should be.
And with that all being said, be sure to check this product out in the link in the description. Let me know what you think, and as always, till next time.